Photographers often struggle to find a lens that's both compact and capable. Carrying bulky equipment can be tiring and inconvenient. Enter the Viltrox 28mm 4.5 autofocus Pancake lens, known as CHIP. This tiny lens aims to solve the portability problem without sacrificing quality. This chip packs autofocus into its miniature frame, a feature rarely seen in Pancake lenses. Let's explore how this small wonder performs in real-world situations. The first thing you'll notice about the Viltrox chip is its size. At just 15mm long and weighing only 58 grams, it's so small. You might even mistake it for a body cap at first glance. This small size makes it easy to carry around all day. The lens is made of both plastic and metal, which helps keep it light, but still strong enough for daily use. However, it's not weather sealed, so be careful in rainy or dusty conditions. One interesting feature is the built-in lens cover. Instead of a separate cap, there's a slider that opens and closes the cover. This design choice keeps the lens compact and reduces the risk of losing a lens cap. The chip has very few controls. In fact, the lens cover slider is the only thing that you can adjust on the lens itself. While this might seem limiting, it keeps the lens simple and easy to use. There's also a USB-C port on the lens. This allows for future firmware updates, which is a thoughtful addition to such a small lens. It's worth noting that this lens only has autofocus. There's no manual focus ring. This thing helps keep the lens small, but might not suit everyone's needs. Now let's look at how the lens performs. The autofocus system works well in bright light. It's quick and accurate, which is great for capturing sudden moments. But it can struggle a bit in low light or when focusing on close objects. Another fact is that the autofocus is a bit slow in single shot mode, but faster in continuous mode. No, you don't have to worry about the image quality, as the lens produces sharp images, especially in the center. This is true for both full-frame and APS-C cameras. That said, on full-frame cameras, the edges of the image can be softer and darker. This effect, called vignetting, is less noticeable on APS-C cameras. The fixed f/4.5 aperture is another important fact. This means you can't adjust the aperture, which limits your control over depth of field and low-light performance. We can't complain about this one, as this design choice helps keep the lens so small. When it comes to image quality, the Viltrox chip has some strengths and weaknesses. The vignetting we mentioned earlier is quite noticeable, especially on full-frame cameras. This darkening of the corners can be a creative effect, but it might not suit everyone's taste. Distortion, which is when straight lines appear curved in photos, is well controlled in this lens. There's only a small amount of barrel distortion, which is impressive for such a compact lens. One issue to be aware of is how the lens handles bright light. It can create significant flare, which affects the overall contrast of your images. This is most noticeable when shooting towards the sun or other bright light sources. An interesting feature we observe is the lens ability to create 8-point sun stars. These star-like effects around bright points of light can add a unique touch to your photos, especially in night scenes or landscapes. The Viltrox chip has some unique features that set it apart. The built-in lens cap mechanism is one of these. It's a clever design that makes the lens even more portable and convenient to use. However, we found a potential issue with the rear glass element. When the lens is pointing downwards, this element can move slightly beyond the lens mount. This could lead to scratches if you're not careful when setting the lens down without its rear cap. The fixed f/4.5 aperture is both a feature and a limitation. It allows for the lens's ultra-slim design, but limits your ability to create a shallow depth of field or shoot in low light. Besides this, when you do manage to create some background blur in close-up shots, it looks quite pleasing. At $99, the Viltrox chip is very affordable. This low price makes it accessible to many photographers who want to try a Pancake lens or need a very portable option. For the price, the lens performs well, especially in terms of center sharpness. The inclusion of autofocus at this price point is particularly noteworthy, as many similarly priced Pancake lenses are manual focus only. Full-frame users will need to consider the trade-offs more carefully. The vignetting and soft corners are more noticeable on these cameras. However, if portability is your main concern, the chip still offers good value. In the end, whether this lens is right for you depends on your specific needs. If you value portability above all and can work within its limitations, the chip could be a great addition to your kit. It's a lens that encourages spontaneous photography and reminds us that sometimes the best camera is the one you have with you. With the chip, you'll always have a capable lens ready to capture the moment. So that's all about the Viltrox 28mm 4.5 autofocus Pancake. Do let us know what you think about this lens. As for everything else, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you want more content like this on your feed.